Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another pen for review, and I'd like to thank Ben at Gravitas Pens for having this pen dropped off to me at the London Pen Show. This is quite an interesting pen. He dropped off a couple of pens. There's this one, and there's one in brass. This is the Sentry model. So this is aptly called the Skittles. It comes in this kind of, I want to say, coming from the UK. From my sort of life as a kid, I always remember tubes like this of candy, and typically it was something called Smarties that used to come in a little tube like this. So it's an interesting sort of pen packaging. You do see here as well, you see Gravitas logo there, and it says 151. So this is number 151. And then there's also a QR code there, which presumably, I've not checked it, but I presumably will take you to his website. And it says designed and assembled in Dublin, Ireland. So I really do like this packaging. So let's remove the pen and you'll see it in all its glory. So this is the pen, and when Ben asked me, he said, what pen would you like to review, or what pen would you like from Gravitas? And I said, a pen that's long, heavy. I do like a little bit of rainbow. So he said, right, okay, in that case then I'll send you a Sentry. And he sent me a Sentry in the Skittles, which is what this version is, and a Sentry in the brass, or the raw brass version. So you can see here, this is got this beautiful rainbow color effect going around the pen. This is quite a nice look. So in terms of the pen, there is the cap finial here that comes to a conical point. Likewise, the body finial here comes to a conical point as well. And the cap itself tapers into that cap finial, tapers out to about here, starts to taper back in a bit. There's a very minuscule step there. And then the body continues to taper in to what is the finial of the body. Now, if I unscrew the cap, you'll see here the section is done exactly the same as the body material. The difference here is, I'd say it's a little bit more polished. And I don't know if you can see this. This is the same on the brass, the raw brass version, is that there are very, very minute lines all the way around this section, which I don't know if you probably won't hear it, but it has a texture. So it allows you to grip the section a lot more. So if you're worried about pens with slippery sections, metal sections, you shouldn't need to be with this one. It also has a flare out here at the base of the section, which is nice because it stops your fingers and thumbs falling onto the nib as well. Now, if I unscrew the body here, you'll see it has a Gravitas converter. It's a standard international converter there. Now, these are metal threads. I wouldn't want to eyedropper this pen. It's a lot of threads there, so it makes sure that the body remains on the section there. Now, the nib itself is a Yovo nib. Now, this is a 1.1mm stub nib, and typically those Yovo nibs do not have any tipping on them. So you can see that there is no tipping on that nib. But these, I have some 1.1s, I have some 1.5s, and this is a 1.1. So I haven't used my 1.1s and 1.5s for some time, so it'll be interesting to actually give this a try. But this is actually quite a nice pen. I do find this is a lot lighter than the raw brass version of it. So this, I'm just gonna double check. So this is a pen made of 6061-T651 aluminium, and also 304 stainless steel. Now, the cap itself I do find is quite light, certainly compared to the raw brass version. The finish of the pen is delicately bead blasted, leaving the surface smooth to the touch before it's plated and PVD coated in a unique process, which this unique process creates this beautiful rainbow effect. And then the section is also PVD coated as well. So this is a lighter version of the Sentry. I believe it comes in a steel version as well, a raw steel, a raw brass, and then there's this version which essentially is an aluminium version. I think the cap certainly is aluminium because it is very, very lightweight. I think the body is possibly maybe aluminium or steel. I know the section actually is very, very weighty, which is good because it allows you to then not have a pen that is back weighted. I think, like a lot of people, I don't like pens that are back weighted. Now, can I post the cap? I can. It will post very, very deeply. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a pocket pen when you do that. It won't actually. It will grip onto the body, but I would be a little bit careful in terms of that sort of scratching the body. So it's not something that I would personally want to do. But I do like this pen. I do like this finish a lot. It really, really does look quite interesting. So from that perspective, I really do like it. So I think with that, let's do a size check. We'll do a weight check. We'll do a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So the full length of the pen, we're looking about 145 millimeters in length. The length of the cap, we're looking about 60 millimeters in length. I'll try and make sure that this doesn't roll away. The length of the body to the tip of the tines, we're looking about 140 millimeters in length. So that for me is an oversized pen, and you can see that in the size of my hand there. It really is a nice size pen, at least for me anyway. It's a long pen. It's a little bit of a weightier pen, but it's not too weighty. It's a lot lighter than the raw brass version. So I think let's do a weight check. And the full weight of this pen, we're looking at 46 grams in weight. The weight of the cap, we're looking at 8 grams in weight. So the cap is quite light, as I mentioned. And then the weight of the body, we're looking at just over 37 grams in weight. I've got to stop it rolling off there because it will roll off otherwise. So that is actually quite a good weight of pen. So I think with that, let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a TWSBI VAC 700R Iris. We have a Benu Scepter. We have a Santini Italia, and this is the Libra in the amber. We have a Sailor King pen in the Pro Gear. This is the Lucky Charm. We have a Gravitas pens. This is the Sentry in the Skittles. We have a Scribo Fill in the Verde Prato. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog. We have a London Pen Company, and this is the Christopher in 14 in the Conway Stewart Honey Noir. We have a Montegrappa Extra 1930 Shiny Lines Dove. And we have a Parker, and this is the Duofold Prestige in the blue chevron. So I think let's go and do a writing sample. So this is the Gravitas, and this is the Sentry in the Skittles. Now this is a 1.1mm stub nib, and it's a steel Yovo nib. Now the ink in here today is actually Herbin or J Herbin, and it is violet, and it's a Pensy, which I thought might be a nice coloured ink to try and match at least some of the colour in this pen. Now, I think in terms of line variation, we are seeing, I'd say, about a 1.1mm stub nib. If I apply a little bit of pressure, I can get it a little bit wider. Probably, I'd say that's going to a 1.3. And then if I continue the vertical lines, you're seeing no hard starts or skips. So from that perspective, the nib is writing very good out of the box. Now, in terms of ink wetness, let's take a look at this. So this is quite a wet nib. It's almost, I would say, bordering on being a fire hose nib. Fire hose, I normally say, from about the midpoint on an A4 sheet across the page. So this is a 1.1mm stub nib, so that to me is the reason why it's probably a little bit more wetter, because normally these Yovo nibs are not normally fire hose wet. The Yovo nibs typically are very wet nibs, but not quite fire hose. So what do I like? What do I not like about this pen? Well, I have to say I love the size. I like the length. I like the girth, and I like the weight. I like the section has a little bit of a rib texture to it. I like it's a cartridge converter, and I really do like this rainbow finish to it. It's a very smooth, matte-like finish, and it really makes me want to write with this pen a lot. So I do like this pen. I do like rainbow pens. I have got a TWSBI VAC 700R that I can show you here. It's got some rainbow on it, but nowhere near as much as what this Gravitas pen has got. So from that perspective, I really do like this. There isn't anything I dislike about this pen. It comes in extra fine, medium, broad, 1.1 stubs. I think 1.5 as well, because that's effectively what Yovo provide. I do like this pen, and I have to say, again, I'd like to thank Ben for sending me this pen, and having Jose from nibs.lab dropping it off to me at the London Pen Show, because unfortunately Ben and myself weren't able to meet up. At least this time. I'm hoping that we will be able to get to meet up next time at the London Pen Show. So what I'll do also, I'll leave in the lower thirds here the Gravitas website, and also a link in the description. If you want to go and buy this pen, then you can go off to the Gravitas website and buy this pen. The pen is €85, whether or not you're buying the brass version, the raw, the steel, or this version. So I think it's really admirable that the coating, which is going to take a lot of extra work, doesn't increase on the price of this pen. So if you do want to pick up this pen or another finish in this pen, go off to the Gravitas website with a link below, and you can take a look at the various models that Ben has available. He has smaller pens called the Entry. He has the larger pens called the Sentry. And then there are some other sort of pocket-sized pens as well. So again, I'd like to thank Ben for sending me this pen for review. This is the review of the Gravitas Sentry in Skittles with a 1.1mm stub nib. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye-bye.